All right, we're recording now. What's up, world? Andy McCabe here. This is the Restoration Rebel Roundtable for the 15th of December, 2022. Talking about retail versus insurance. And bottom line is, if you have a different pricing structure for retail work versus insurance work, I would guess that your retail work is priced higher. Now, that's only going to backfire on you when you get taken to court eventually and somebody finds that you do different jobs. You do jobs outside of insurance claims and you charge more for them. It's going to reduce your credibility as a business, as an estimator, as a business owner. It's going to reduce your credibility and either way, even if you charge more, some people, that's how they do it. They charge more for insurance work than you do for retail work. And that's a big no-no. That could be construed as gouging, as price gouging, as taking advantage. When disasters hit, you're a roofer and you do retail jobs for X, but then a big tornado rolls through and all of a sudden your pricing goes up. That's not a good thing. Not a good thing. I've said it before and I'll say it 100,000 more times before I die, probably, that restorers should act as if the insurance company does not exist. The reason for this is you don't want to be in a position to try to justify the things you're doing differently in an insurance claim that you don't do in the retail world. And you want to be able to show that your pricing for your goods and services are consistent across the board. They don't change up or down dependent upon whether or not insurance adjuster or claim is involved. And if you act as if the insurance company doesn't exist, it simplifies your life. You've got one client to make happy. You've got one bid to do. You've got one project to do at a time. It just takes all the nonsense out of it and really simplifies things. And if you take a simplified, I treat this client the same as I treat their neighbor across the street, regardless if either one has an insurance claim, it simplifies things for you, makes things way easier to explain when you get into a lawsuit or an appraisal or anything like that. If you do charge more for insurance work, that's going to come up. That's going to come up. It's just a matter of time. So stop doing it. Create a business that accomplishes your goals, personal and business goals. Do good work. Find more clients. Go get clients. Just do you. You do you. Stay in your lane. And don't worry about whether or not there's an insurance claim or not. Don't worry about what the adjuster thinks or wants. Because at the end of the day, what the adjuster wants doesn't matter. Right? And I wrote a note down somewhere and I lost it, but I think I can remember what I said was the insurance I did 4 appraisals last week. And thanks, Tobias. I appreciate that. So 3 or 4 appraisals last week, and policy limits came up on one of them. And at the end of the day, an appraisal, I approach appraisal the same way, no matter where it is. Appraisal is somebody asking me to come up with my opinion, my valuation for what the loss was worth, what it should have cost, and what it would have taken to do this job. That's my job as an appraiser. And we started talking about this particular loss was beyond policy limits. And the opposing appraiser, who is just an IA, who works for the carriers all the time, all day long, he was insistent that we could not write an award that was higher than policy limits. And I told him the insurance policy has no bearing on my opinion of this loss. Just because a loss has a policy on it that doesn't cover the entire loss doesn't mean the loss isn't this, right? You have $1 million loss. You have $750,000 in policy limits. That $750,000 limit does not change the fact that you have $1 million loss. All that means is the owner of that building or whatever is going to be 250 grand short of what it's going to take to put that building back together. So policy limits have no bearing on the size of an estimate. Policy limit has no bearing on the size of a loss. And the policy should have no bearing on your standard operating procedures or your pricing as a restoration contractor. Just shouldn't. So no one else is here. Let's see here. I got two comments. One of them's mine in the feed. I wanted to, I've had a couple people over the last couple months or so say that they'd like to do another Restoration Rebel event. And I'm not opposed to that. My question is, what would people want out of an event? I know what I like. You know, I go to the RIA sometimes. I go to, other conferences, and I know what I like out of the conferences, and that's just meeting people and getting together with other people and networking and things like that. What I go there, what speeches I listen to, what presentations I listen to, or what vendors I go, shake hands with or whatnot. That's just an added bonus. But for me, the value of any conference is the human beings that I get to interact with and meet when I'm there. And our first Rebel event, 2015, 2016 maybe. That was the number one positive feedback we got from the attendees was it was just great to see everyone that was there. It was amazing to see other restorers that are in the exact same position I am, and the ability there were relationships and friendships built at that event that lasted, that really lasted. So my question is, what do people want to see? I'm obviously leaning towards having having the event here, or at least in Oregon, if not in Bend, so I don't have to go anywhere. But the added bonus of coming to a place like Bend is the after hours of, we got a mountain covered in snow right now. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I'm going to go up tomorrow and snowboard all day. And in the summertime, if it's summertime, we've got mountain biking, we've got riding the river, we got a lot of single track, just all kinds of stuff to do. So it's for me, it's less about showing up in the seat, listening to someone present something. It's more about getting a group of like-minded people together and then just doing fun stuff. So maybe we can talk about it. Maybe we'll start a subject here in the group this week and figure that out. So Tobias has some things to say here. Let's see here. Let's go with Oren. Oren says, hey, if a customer uses Hearth for financing because they don't have the money, will insurance also pay the interest on the money? Let's just say it's a $10,000 claim and it's 10%. Damn, is that what Hearth charges? 10%? Brutal. Will they pay the full amount of $11,000 or just the $10,000? Well, I think there's an argument to be made that since the insurance company didn't pay them didn't make them whole for their loss, and they had to come out of pocket and find a way to finance the repairs, that is a cost incurred. And they have incurred that cost in order to put their house back into pre-loss condition. I would say whatever it took, including any interest they had to pay on that monies, I think it's arguable. And at the end of the day, that person will probably have to sue their carrier to get reimbursed for that. But I think they would win. I think it's pretty cut and dried that your insurance policy reads how it reads, and there's multiple ways to read it, but you can look at the costs incurred to bring your back to pre-loss condition, and that interest on that hearth loan would be part of that cost incurred. So that's my stance as a licensed public adjuster and restoration professional for 20 some years. That's the stance I'd take. Okay. Tobias said, oh, here we go. The best possible thing the construction company can do is to truly understand their costs and price their work accordingly. Yeah. Understand your overhead. You need to know your overhead, and you need to accommodate for profit. Brian Roush sent me this book. It's called Profit First. Oh, no, there's a different one. I can't find it now. Anyway, he sent me this one and a different, there's Profit First, and then there's Profit First for Contractors, and I just can't find it. It's around here somewhere. And the bottom line of Profit First is know how much profit you design your business to make a specific profit. And that's the first thing. You pay yourself first. You pay that profit first, and then you pay the rent, and then you pay the power bill, and then you pay payroll, whatever else. Great book. I haven't made it all the way through yet, and then I'll have to read that one. So yeah, they need to understand their pricing. And it creates this, Tobias says, it creates the strongest position when dealing with an insurance claim or otherwise. Yes, you're coming from a position of clarity, and you just know, this is my number. Why did you charge that? Because this is my number. This is what I charge for these things. We as restorers don't have to justify anything to an adjuster, really. We just do often just because it makes it easier to get paid, right? It lets us get paid quicker. Tobias also said they should have a very good documentation trail to prove they were forced. Yes, yeah, on the hearth financing thing, to prove they were forced to take on the financing to complete the work. So in that situation, Oren, I would say, if you're going to offer financing, I would give, for lack of a better term, I would give the adjuster and the carrier first right of refusal on the estimate. Put together a good estimate, write a tight sheet that has plenty of money built in for you and your business, where you write a profitable sheet, and in a total scope, right? Write a complete scope in a profitable sheet and submit that to the adjuster. Submit it to your client and say, hey, this is what you're in for. You hire us, this is what it's going to cost, and this is what we'll do for these costs. And they submit that. Yeah, I want you all to get away from submitting things directly to any adjuster. Everything should go through your client. Submit to your client. Client submits that number to the adjuster. Adjuster has first right of refusal. Adjuster balks and says, meh, we're going to appraisal, or I'm bringing my own guy in to get my opinion, right? Then you have the option, well, do you still want us to do the work? Yes, I want you to do the work. You understand that I'm not responsible for whatever your insurance company pays you is your business between you and them. I can't fight for you. Yes. Okay, here's financing. We can get you financing. Hearth steps in, boom, boom, boom. You get the money, get the job, go. That's cost incurred. That's a pretty good process. And I think I'd like to see more people do that. And then that financing obviously is a cost that they incurred. You gave the insurance company the chance to do the right thing. They said no. So you went and got it done. And now they owe you that plus a 10%. So here in Oregon, if you sue your insurance company there's no bad faith law, as it were, in Oregon, but if you sue your insurance company and you win $1 more than what the insurance company said their final number was, you win $1 more, then the insurance company has to pick up the tab for your legal fees. And I would argue this is very similar. You're going to prove that this was the loss. They said no. You got the loss done. They had to pay for the loss and your financing fees. That's fair. That's fair. So 680 or higher credit score is 0%. So Hearth gives a 0% loan. How do they make money on those? How do they make money on a 0% loan? There must be something else, origination fees, or maybe you as a contractor pick up some of that. I don't know. So I could get a Hearth loan. Thank God. Now my life is complete. So I think I've bounced around a little bit, but I think the bottom line for today must be a payoff period. I don't know what that means. Okay, so Oren, you pay $1,600 a year for the privilege of being able to offer Hearth financing. Whew. Depending on your volume, that's either a lot of money or not a lot of money. So I guess that would depend on a lot of different variables there. It feels like a lot, but then, I'm paying $150 a month for Hover. I'm paying more than that for Matterport. So $1,600 a year. It's not a lot. I mean, when I pay for software just to have access to it, whether or not I use it or not, is way higher than that. Way higher than that. So let's I'm gonna leave it there. No one's hopping in here. I don't really feel like talking to myself. I've got some appraisals to clean up today. I've got some estimates to write. So if you're in the mood, check out claimsdelegates.com. That's my business. You'll notice that there's no advertisers on here. It's just me. So if you guys are in the mood to explore your Xactimate estimating options, we are a 100% remote company that we offer a lot of services and help you do better work in the insurance world via Xactimate and things like that. So my email is andy@claimsdelegates.com. And otherwise, Sean Ivory, what's up, bro? What's up, man? Yeah, I guess that's it. Let's reach out to me or reach out to the group if you would like to be a part of the next Restoration Rebel event. Let us know. Let us know what you want from an event, what you want to see. Obviously, everyone's going to have their own geographical bias on where they like to have it. I think the last time I was involved with anything like that, we were talking about Denver. I know the Air Group has been in Boulder a couple times, which is, everyone can fly to the Rocky Mountains and get a little closer there. I'm not opposed to Boulder either. I like that town as well. I know people there. So yeah, short and sweet. I'm going to get back to work, as should you. Yeah, be good to each other. Later.